Everyone thinks football only has two cards, yellow and red. Simple. You've believed that your whole life until officials started handing out a card that isn't yellow, isn't red, and doesn't punish anyone at all. There's a third card in football now, a fourth, maybe even a fifth. Almost nobody outside a referee's dressing room can explain why. Here's how it actually works. A yellow card is a warning. One message, keep doing that and you're off. It goes into the referee's notebook and it follows you. Get a second yellow in the same match, and he doesn't invent a new punishment. He shows yellow, then red. 2 warnings equal 1 ejection. A red card doesn't wait for a second chance. Serious foul play. Violent conduct. Stopping a clear goal with anything but your feet or head. Straight red, straight off. No appeal. 2 colors. 2 outcomes. A warning and an ending. Here's what nobody explains properly. Why colors and why these two? The answer isn't about football. It's about a traffic jam. In 1966, referee Ken Aston watched an England-Argentina World Cup match dissolve into confusion, players unsure who'd been sent off, because the referee had only said it out loud, in English, and not everyone spoke English. Aston stopped at a red light on the drive home, and there it was. Amber means slow down. Red means stop. Everyone on the planet understands that without translation. By the 1970 World Cup, yellow and red cards were law. Not because they looked good on television, though they did, but because they solved a real problem: how to tell 22 players from different countries, final warning, and you're finished, without a single word, for 50 years. That was the whole story. Then football hit a problem the old system couldn't handle. Some fouls are too cynical for a yellow, but nowhere near violent enough for a red. A tactical trip that kills a promising attack, say. Sending someone off for good feels excessive. A warning feels like nothing. So lawmakers went looking for a middle option and landed on a color, blue. A blue card doesn't send you off forever. It sends you off temporarily into a sin bin, the same idea ice hockey has used for decades. Your team plays a man short for around 10 minutes, you serve the time, then you're back. It's already worked at grassroots level, cutting the dissent that makes referees miserable. And it's now creeping into higher levels of the game through ongoing trials, though the top leagues remain the most resistant. Wary of complicating a sport built on simplicity, there's already a green card too, and it's older than blue. FIFA doesn't recognize it, but CONIFA does. The Federation for Teams Outside FIFA's own umbrella, nations and regions FIFA doesn't cover. Since 2018, referees there have shown it for offences that aren't violent but aren't tolerable, either needless dissent, that kind of thing. The player is sent off permanently, just like a red card. But unlike red, if the team still has a substitute left, they're allowed to bring one on. Same exile, different consequence for the team, but here's the detail. Almost nobody knows, and it flips everything you just learned. In 2024, a referee in Portugal pulled out a card that wasn't a punishment at all. It was white. And it wasn't for a foul. It was a reward. During a match between Benfica and Sporting, medical staff from both clubs rushed onto the pitch to help a fan who'd collapsed in the stands. Instead of booking anyone, the referee held up a white card, official recognition of good sportsmanship. No penalty, no suspension, just a public thank you on the record. Portugal has since used it to reward fair play from players, coaches, even supporters. It hasn't spread worldwide and might never, but it proves something. Cards were never really about punishment. They were about communication. Worth remembering next time a player picks up a caution in one match, then another in the next, and misses a huge knockout game despite never being sent off. That's accumulation, working quietly in the background. Cards don't reset when the whistle blows. Enough yellows across a tournament add up to the same result as one red. You watch from the stands. It happens to key players in nearly every major tournament. Whether their team likes it or not. 2 cards for 50 years. Born out of a traffic light and a language problem nobody could solve any other way. A third and fourth color working their way up from the edges of the game, built for offenses that never quite fit the old system. And a fifth, quietly proving cards were never only about trouble. Sometimes they're the game saying thank you. Yellow is a warning. Red is final, for player and team, both. Blue is a timeout. Green is final for the player, but not for the team. White is applause. 5 colors, 5 completely different jobs. The game didn't change. You did. You're welcome. Subscribe if you like this. It really means a lot.